Good morning, everyone. Again, sorry for the delay in starting. We are going to talk about the cooperation per se and the public-private network, the cooperation, and the More Productive Brazil program. The presentation is divided into two parts. First of all, we are going to talk about the network and this very positive experience of this cooperation. First of all, what is the idea of the network established? It's the principle of the adding to multiply. So this was an initiative that the corporation conducted. There was a task force. This is a network that is public and private. Public because it involves government entities and federal government and municipal government. So the Ministry of Industry and Mines of Energy and the Department of Mining and Energy of the state of São Paulo. In the private sector, we have other entities such as the National Confederation of Industry, Abrace, and GM, and other companies. What were the activities conducted by this task force? It conducted an assessment system to promote energy efficiency in Brazil, focused on the industry, and it identified the existence of gaps and a need to have a closer cooperation. And we already had a very close relationship with the Ministry of Mines and Energy, but from this initiative, we were even closer. I also forgot to mention that ANEEL participated in our activities. We also saw the fragmentation of initiatives to support energy efficiency. This is distributed among many programs, always under the supervision of the Ministry of Mines and Energy with various players. But we thought a more cooperative action would be necessary, and also the lack of mechanisms to promote energy efficiency in the industry in some sectors, among which specifically the SMEs. They are very important for their high participation in the industrial sector, as my colleague said previously, and also because they represent the entire productive chain of the big companies. So to talk about energy efficiency, we have to understand all of this set of companies. With this cooperation initiative, what were the answers from the ministry? Trying to have a closer cooperation between the private and the public sector, and also work on energy efficiency and conservation. And the public policy was implemented called Brazil More Productive in energy efficiency. It's a modality of More Productive Brazil, and More Productive Brazil is within the SENAI in the CNI system, and it was designed in the lean manufacturing model, and we discussed with SENAI to create a pilot project for energy efficiency, and we were very successful. Summarizing what the cooperation brought us: a better coordination between Brazilian entities, a more active participation of the ministry, and innovation, because it brings a program that we are now going to discuss in a practical way. It's precisely Brazil More Productive in energy efficiency. What I brought you here is the demonstration of the results of the pilot program, because the execution of this program is underway on its first stage. We are going to talk about a few aspects. What is Brazil More Productive in energy efficiency and as a whole? First of all, it's a program short-term and quick to implement. We're talking about 140 hours, 3 months of interventions in specific areas within SMEs. So this is a very focused action involving the set of stages, identification of the energy profile, and we are going to see that on the next slides with attention areas. This is a rate analysis focusing on refrigeration, thermal systems, and compressed air, lighting system, tariff analysis, and drive system. This includes these 4 stages until reaching the final stage of implementation. And essentially, what's the cost and what's the counterpart? We understand from the beginning that it's essential in such an initiative in any government plan that there is a counterpart from the beneficiary part. And this is a very positive format. It has a cost that is relatively low, 21,000 reais, and the counterpart is 4,200 reais per company, and a counterpart of $1,120. So it's very interesting and low cost. What was the pilot project? First of all, the discussion, an objective discussion of sectors and states where the pilot project was conducted. Brazil More Productive is underway in the entire territory, but it started with Bahia, Ceará, Espírito Santo, Goiás, Minas Gerais, Paraíba, Santa Catarina, and Rio Grande do Sul. What were the sectors chosen within this profile of SMEs? Red ceramic, and the number of companies that participated in the pilot project. Metal mechanic, plastics for transformed plastic products, textile, food, and cosmetics. Of course, you can see the universe of SMEs in our country is very big and diverse, and naturally it's within the industrial sector. So the diversification of the industrial sector and the diversification of the regions of Brazil. So it was an attempt to run a project pilot and assess the results. We got some important indicators. First, the average reduction of 26.43% of energy consumption overall. We have to study case by case per sector and company within their region. Second, a reduction of consumption of $12,000, equivalent to 48,000 reais. So it's significant on an annual basis for this segment. And a relevant indicator is the average payback of 4.7 months. So the program demonstrates its utility focused on certain sectors. It's not for any sector, and it brings effective actual gains in a short period. And it does not have the pretension to solve structured issues, but it brings a contribution in a niche that was not served. What is interesting from this result of the pilot project? There is a set of 3 columns. First, the sectors. Second, the reduction in energy consumption in megawatt hour, and the reduction in consumption. The second column is without investment, and the third column with investment. Why this difference? And I apologize because I didn't mention before. Brazil More Productive does not focus on interventions depending on investments. Acquisition of engines, for instance, replacement of lighting system, restructuring the entire electrical structure. It does process adjustments, machines working in a void, so some small interventions. And what's interesting and what's shown on this chart, different sectors have different results and different energy uses, as we already knew. But very interestingly, in Brazil, the Simple interventions without investment already bring results that are greater than with investment. Why? Because our country is really very late in terms of efficiency, energy efficiency actions, which translates a very important message. It's the great potential that we have in this specific niche and also proven for other segments. Two simple cases, one at metal sinos within their compressed air lighting system. The results are in this chart, and there's a significant reduction of 56% in energy consumption. It's very fine-tuned adjustment in specific industrial processes, and we see how energy is wasted in Brazil. The second case is a cosmetics industry. There was a even more impressive reduction of 66% almost. So there's a long way to go, and I'd like to thank my colleagues at Senai who provided this presentation for the Ministry of Industry. Next steps. We are designing and already executing Brazil More Effective, the first step with 300 companies. And there is an integration that is necessary. We can already see the coordination between entities. And the resources for the execution of this plan came from the resources available by the private sector through the law of energy efficiency. So the application of a legal framework in the Ministry of Mines and Energy with the participation and the structure of projects that can bring some benefits. So these are the next steps, and we hope to bring future results. So thank you very much for your attention.